The 1970s was a time of great culinary innovation, with iconic restaurants that captured the hearts and taste buds of many. However, not all of these beloved eateries could withstand the challenges of changing times, leading to their eventual demise. Let's take a nostalgic journey and revisit 7 famous restaurants of the 1970s that sadly went bankrupt, leaving behind a trail of memories and forgotten flavors. Number 7. Sambo's. In the 1970s, Sambo's was a household name, synonymous with fluffy pancakes and warm hospitality.
And you can dine for $1.99 at Sambo's.
With over 1,100 locations across the U.S., including California, Texas, and Florida, it was a staple for family breakfasts and casual meals. However, beneath its friendly facade, Sambo's harbored a dark secret, a name and theme rooted in racial insensitivity. As social attitudes evolved, the chain faced mounting pressure to rebrand. Protests and public outcry ensued, forcing Sambo's to attempt a reimage, with some locations becoming the Jolly Tiger. But the damage was done. Financial struggles compounded the issue. And by the early 1980s, Sambo's began closing its doors. The once beloved chain succumbed to bankruptcy, a casualty of its own controversy and economic woes. Sambo's story serves as a cautionary tale of how even the most popular businesses can fall victim to changing times and societal values. Despite its efforts to adapt, the chain couldn't shake off its troubled legacy, leaving behind a nostalgic memory tainted by controversy. Number 6. Lums. In the 1970s, Lums was the go-to destination for families and foodies alike, famous for its signature hot dogs steamed in beer.
The juicy roast beef sandwich piled high with that thinly sliced roast beef.
This quirky and mouth-watering offering made Lums a staple in many communities, with over 400 locations across the U.S., including Florida, New York, and California. The chain's casual vibe and distinctive menu items, like the iconic beer-steamed hot dog, created a loyal following. However, by the early 1980s, Lums faced significant financial headwinds. The economic downturn made it challenging to maintain profitability, while shifting consumer preferences and increasing competition from other fast food chains further strained operations. Despite efforts to revamp the brand, Lums filed for bankruptcy in 1982 and closed its doors for good by 1983. Number 5. Pup and Taco. In the 1970s, Pup and Taco was the go-to spot for Californians craving a unique blend of Mexican and American flavors. With over 100 locations across California and New Mexico, this beloved chain served up a fun and casual dining experience that captivated locals and visitors alike. Its innovative menu, featuring a fusion of tacos and hot dogs, made Pup and Taco a standout in the fast food scene. However, despite its popularity, Pup and Taco struggled to compete with larger chains. The complexities of its varied menu made operations more costly, hindering expansion and profitability. In 1984, Taco Bell seized the opportunity to acquire Pup and Taco, converting its locations into Taco Bell restaurants. This buyout marked the end of an era for Pup and Taco, as its distinctive brand and menu were phased out. Number 4. White Tower Hamburgers. White Tower Hamburgers was a popular restaurant chain in the 1970s, known for its small square hamburgers similar to those of White Castle. At its peak, White Tower had about 230 locations across the U.S., with a strong presence in states like New York, Ohio, and Michigan. The chain attracted customers with its tasty burgers and distinctive white fortress-like buildings. White Tower faced significant challenges over the years, and the chain was embroiled in numerous lawsuits from White Castle, which claimed that White Tower had copied its building design and menu offerings. These legal battles were costly and damaging to White Tower's reputation. Financial struggles mounted as consumer preferences shifted and operational costs increased. Unable to adapt to the changing market dynamics and overcome its legal and financial issues, White Tower gradually closed its locations. By 2004, the once thriving chain had shut down its last restaurant. Number 3. Steak and Ale. Steak and Ale was a popular restaurant chain in the 1970s, well loved for its affordable steaks and extensive salad bars. It offered a charming dining experience that attracted many families and steak enthusiasts.
Tonight is unmistakably, tonight is inescapably.
Here's to a perfect evening.
At its height, Steak and Ale had numerous locations across the U.S., including states like Texas, Florida, and California. The chain's combination of good food and reasonable prices made it a favorite dining spot for many. Steak and Ale faced growing financial challenges over the years. Competition from other dining establishments increased, and the economic climate made it difficult to sustain its business model. Changing consumer taste also played a role as more people began seeking diverse dining options. These factors contributed to a decline in sales and profitability. By the early 2000s, Steak and Ale could not overcome these difficulties and filed for bankruptcy. The financial strain became too much to bear, leading to the closure of all its locations.
Make that a lot of food for thought.
Number 2. Burger Chef. Burger Chef was a beloved restaurant chain in the 1970s, famous for its flame-broiled burgers and for pioneering the kids' meal concept with its fun meal. This innovative approach made it a popular spot for families and burger enthusiasts.
Tomatoes, catsup, dressing, and fresh lettuce. It's the most all-out hamburger you ever saw, and you'll only see it here where we go all out to please your family. Burger Chef, we'll always treat you right.
At its peak, Burger Chef had over 1,000 locations across the U.S., including states like Indiana. People enjoyed the tasty burgers and the family-friendly atmosphere. Despite its popularity, Burger Chef began facing financial difficulties in the 1980s. The fast food industry became more competitive, with major players like McDonald's and Burger King expanding rapidly.
Or perhaps a bubble pipe. The fun burger with a surprise prize only at Burger Chef.
Burger Chef struggled to keep up with these larger chains and began losing market share. In 1982, the chain was sold to Hardee's, which initially continued to operate some locations under the Burger Chef name. By 1996, the last Burger Chef restaurant had closed its doors. Number 1. Kenny Rogers Roasters. Kenny Rogers Roasters was a popular restaurant chain in the 1990s known for its delicious rotisserie chicken and home-style side dishes. Founded by country music star Kenny Rogers, the chain quickly gained a loyal following. At its peak, Kenny Rogers Roasters had numerous locations across the U.S., including states like California, Florida, and Texas. Diners appreciated the wholesome, hearty meals and the cozy, welcoming atmosphere. The chain began to struggle financially in the late 1990s, as increased competition from other fast food and casual dining restaurants made it difficult for Kenny Rogers Roasters to maintain its market share. Additionally, changes in consumer preferences toward healthier dining options put pressure on the chain to adapt. In 1998, Kenny Rogers Roasters declared bankruptcy, signaling the start of its decline. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to reminisce the vintage nostalgia.